Then I heard another tzavor from a holy soldier in Israel. This was in the middle of the Yom Kippur War. I gave a concert somewhere. There were hundreds, I think there were maybe 2,000 or 3,000 soldiers. And after the concert was over, one of the very high officers came up to me, and his eyes were mamish red with tears. And he says, I have to tell you the story because it's a good story for you, and I know you'll tell everyone the story. He says, I want you to know, when the Yom Kippur War began, suddenly I found myself fighting next to a very, very frum young man. He says, I am a real shomer tzionik. Not only I don't believe in God, I believe there was no God. I believe there was no God. I told my children, there is no God. I told my children the greatest lie in the world is if someone tells me there's one God. I told my children the greatest lie in the world is if someone tells me that we Jewish people are holy people. It's not true. Okay, the Yom Kippur War begins, and next to me is this also a very high officer, very frum. And the moment the fighting begins, he yells, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, right from the first second till the last. Like all day long he's yelling Shema Yisrael. And he's going on my nerves in the worst way. And I keep on yelling at him, if you don't stop yelling Shema Yisrael, I can't fight this way. You're going on my nerves. So he says to me, you fight your way, I fight my way. In those few days, he says, we were fighting all the time. I tell him, you know the way I feel about God, you're going on my nerves and you mamish make me crazy. I can't stand it anymore. He says, you fight your way, I fight my way. He says, tonight is Motzei Shabbos. I want you to know Thursday morning at dawn, very heavy shooting began. I'm already conditioned that my friend is yelling Shema Yisrael. But Thursday morning, there was no yelling Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. I looked down to the ground, and I saw that my holy yisrael is dying. Blood is running out of his mouth. He's still alive. Suddenly it was clear to me, what a Jew, what a real Jew. How precious he is. I fell to the ground. And I held his dying hand and I said, my dearest, sweetest, sweetest brother, please forgive me that I argued with you the whole time, but believe me, I wish I could die for you. Is there anything I can do for you? I could hardly speak. I had to put my ear on his mouth. He says, please swear to me that you will yell Shema Yisrael for me. And he says, I want you to know, at that moment when he said it to me, it was clear to me like daylight that there is one God. It was clear to me. It was like a flash from heaven. Like God suddenly opened all the gates from heaven. And I held his hand. I don't know if he still heard me. I said to him, I swear to you, I swear to you, that my whole life from now on, every second I will yell Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. And I swear to you, I'm going back to my children, and I will make them swear in your name that they will yell Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Says to me, I want you to know, fighting is still heavy and I have no right to go home. But I told my general, I have to go home for one day. I have to fulfill my vow. I have to tell my children that Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad.